Hi there, my name is Seiji Kim, and today I am going to be presenting you my presentation on gentrification. Now, first things first, what is the meaning of gentrification? Gentrification is the process by which a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people who move in and change things such as housing and businesses, which cause displacement within communities. Latino communities are mainly the target of gentrification. Areas such as Glasso Park and Highland Park are mainly Latino communities. And throughout the past couple of years, they have been fairly gentrified, which is very interesting to see as a person who's grown up near both areas. Many other areas include San Francisco as a prime example of an area becoming gentrified. These two images portray the Latino community and their thoughts about gentrification. This person is holding a sign that reads, "Now that the neighborhood is nice, why do I have to move?" The arguments between gentrification and the Latino community have risen a lot throughout the past years. Because of gentrification, many small business owners that are Latino are being forced to shut down and are losing their income for their families because they are not able to afford nicer paint for their buildings or better equipment to draw in more people. Now, going back to what I was saying about Glasso Park and Highland Park, as a child, I've been very lucky to explore most of my area and the neighboring areas as well. I've lived in Glasso Park all my life. I can tell if something's different or if something's the same. This building right here on the left had been untouched for years. And as of a couple weeks ago of this year, a new comic book shop opened. Personally, I thought it was very interesting because once again, a lot of the buildings in my area are very old and they've been just remodeled all of a sudden. To me, it felt very, very interesting and very weird seeing the area change. My area is mainly a Latino community. There's many small businesses, many liquor stores, taco trucks. And personally, I think it's awesome. It's very diverse. With these new areas opening, I guess the scene is becoming a little bigger. For example, not only did a comic book shop open up down the street from my house, but there's more thrift shops, there's more bars. Personally, I never thought I would see a bar in Glassell Park, but things have been changing. Another prime example could be Highland Park. Growing up, once again, Highland Park was a heavily Latino based community. And then all of a sudden, it had become more gentrified. Now, if you walk down York Boulevard, there's soy restaurants, there's more bars, there's more of a scene going on there. From personal experience, my friends and I, we go around both of our areas and we find new things and interesting things. And being able to grow up and see this change, it's just very interesting to see and to witness. Now, going back to the idea of gentrification. And going back to one of the main ideas that I had mentioned in the beginning, let's talk about the effects of gentrification, both the positive and the negative. Some of the positive effects include improvement in the neighborhoods, increased wages for workers, and allows for increase in demand of certain products that help small businesses. For example, right, as I had said, more shops, more small businesses have been opening up in my area. That does leave room for more jobs and increased wages for others, as well as makes the neighborhood more well known, driving in more people so that way they can check out these small businesses. They can be able to help make their scene bigger than what it already is, as well as helping support the owners and their families. However, there are also negative effects because many small businesses have been here for years. They can't necessarily afford to be able to make their shops look as modern as many other shops are. Another negative effect is the decrease of Latino-owned shops. A lot of the areas that are gentrified are mainly filled with white people, and they tend to open up shops, which is great, awesome. However, it does unfortunately push out many of the Latino-owned shops, causing homelessness and no income for these owners to be able to feed their families. Lastly, increase for the needs of permit and more restrictions for smaller businesses. Now that these areas, including mine, are becoming more gentrified, there is definitely an increase of law enforcement and just rules being enforced. For example, all the time when I would go outside, I would always see street vendors. They were selling elotes or snow cones, and nowadays I barely see any. Possibly it's because of the need for permits. Also, I believe that immigration has a huge thing to do with it because many Latin people do not have their cards, unfortunately. And now that law enforcement has been increased, possibly the fear of being caught definitely has an effect on people. In summary, the Latin community is being heavily affected by gentrification. It has caused more homelessness in our neighborhoods because of the heavy competition that is brought by those wealthier and who can afford to make places look better, even if something has been a staple in the neighborhood for generations. Not only that, but the law enforcement as well is having a bigger impact than ever on store owners and vendors who try to prevent people who have been here for ages from making their income to feed their families. Will gentrification continue? Yes. I personally feel that this is going to continue for years. Many things are going to change. Many things are going to be different. Will it continue to affect Latino communities? I feel like that it will as well, unfortunately. These stores, these vendors, there are culture, there are history in the making, our present history. Seeing that go away, it just feels like a part of us is missing. I can definitely sympathize and agree with anyone who feels that way. once again, I feel weird walking down the street in my area because my block and, the blocks down, they're all Latino people. And when I go down the street, it's like a whole different world to me personally. I'm hoping that Latino store owners, Latino vendors, they'll be able to still make their income and still be able to have a steady balance of being able to do what they love, being able to spread their joy and their culture and everything around. Thank you so much. Good night.